I want us to dial back just a little
Oh
further.
yeah, go back.
I want to give some context. We were also talking about manifestation.
Yes.
And so we were talking about manifestation. We were talking about how this, where sometimes, like you said, you can share the story about when we were taking classes on manifesting and you were in the class like, that doesn't resonate with me.
Yeah, because it was at that time when it felt like everybody wanted to learn how to manifest. And this is probably 2 years ago. Manifesting classes became popular, and it was like material stuff and things like, oh, I want to whatever, this life, and I want to travel and all this stuff. And to me, it had the energy of lack, and I want this and I don't have this. And to me, it wasn't spiritual. It was taking me out of my spirituality. And a lot of yogic and Buddhism says, textures say, to dissolve desire, it will bring you to like peace or nirvana. And a lot of people will make excuses why that's not achievable. Like they'll say, oh, well, that's impossible in a Western society. Like we kind of just ignore that part. But we practice everything else. We practice the asana, the meditation, but we don't let go of the desire, which keeps us in this American culture that we've created in the foundation of consumerism and capitalism. And I think it prevents us from the wholeness that we all really want. And we're all waking up to more and more people. And but it's hard because there is a dance, because we're still here. Like you were saying, we still have to pay our bills and all that. And you can continue, you go ahead and talk about how you were saying how.
Yeah, when we're talking about the currency, right?
Yes.
And I said, well, you said, because a lot of people want to do these works in service, but then we get a water bill, and then we get a gas bill, and then we get an electric bill, and then we look at the mortgage and the taxes, and then we look at the gas prices, and then we go in the grocery store and there's a food shortage, and then, and then they're saying that like we're running out of this, and there's not enough of that, and then you're going to a job because you're afraid of not being able to support yourself. You're going to you're expanding your career because you're afraid to not seem successful to people or to not be recognized. And so I said, do we know how to solve this thing with the currency so that we can stop doing this dance with life and not feel that we're juggling between I want to live this life of service, completely serving people and not worried about this money, and completely dissolving that conversation, while at the same time, I still got bills coming to me every month. I'm still recognizing that if I'm not working, then we're just going to live in lack and poverty. The only option to not live in lack and poverty is to work a job, to have a career, to have a successful business of some sort or whatever. Right. And so I said, well, do we know what that is? The currency?
What is it? I don't remember. Love. Because fear is what?
Fear is the current currency system.
Yeah. And I feel that too. Like I'm not immune to that. I feel all those same things that you just said. Like it's frustrating.
And I fear-based currency that we're exchanging. We have gotten out of love currency. That is what fed us. That is what made Mother Nature. Like you go in a grocery store, you're seeing yellow lettuce. You know what I'm saying? Like literally like you're seeing food that's not real. Why is that? Because it's fear-based. The production system is based off of some sort of fear. So you're over, you're adding antibiotics because you're wondering if you're going to be able to fully supply the need. And so then, or you're cloning animals, or you're doing this. Why? Because we're exchanging through fear.
Yeah.
That's how the money isn't even real. But the currency that we're returning to is love. It's the return to love. And when we're exchanging love, this is where the ever abundance flows. This is the true nature of prosperity. It is the well that never runs dry. You can keep going to the well for more, and it's not going to run dry on you. It's right. The ever-present stream that is ever flowing in you. So what we were talking about is when around the time when Lindsay was, we were all these manifested classes were covered up, and she was sharing with me about how she was feeling a few years ago. At that time, I came across a teacher, and his name was Lester Livingston. He has since made his transition, but while he was here, he began to speak on the beingness.
Okay.
And so as Lindsay was sharing, it was like I was entering within the beingness space. I had just come out of like the void, and I was entering into the beingness. She was fully in the beingness. So she's like, this don't resonate with me, because again, desire, the word desire, the essence of these words, look at the essence of it. The essence of the word desire, the essence of the word want, the essence of the word need, all have one thing in it: something you don't have.
Yeah.
Something you are lacking.
So it takes us out of wholeness.
It takes us out of the wholeness space.
Yeah.
It takes us out of the wholeness space. And so when we're out of this wholeness space, and we're not operating in our fullness of love, because we're afraid that we won't be able to survive, and that we won't be able to take care of our families or anything like that. How can you live on love?
How can
people live on breath?
How can we?
How do you live on love? Is as more of us begin to understand that the only true currency is love, and we began to exchange love one with another.
Yeah.
We'll begin to build this bridge over troubled waters within each other.
I think you're right. I think that's why sometimes I have an issue charging people, because I'm kind of like, fuck the system, I don't want to buy in to that and continue all that. So I'm like, if more and more people do things for free, maybe it'll like shift, and then they can all these businesses can dissolve, and we'll be here serving each other, like what we truly want. However, like a part of me still wants, like a part of me, like you said, it's hard because like, yeah, I still have bills. So I don't know, like maybe those.
So like, and that's the thing, right?
Yeah. We're like not there yet, but we're like in the midst of all.
That's what it's coming to. That's why the currency system is moving and shifting the way that it is and being dismantled.
Yeah.
It's a return to love.
Yeah.
Period. As we return to love, these things will naturally happen. Okay. Because as we return to love and we're in the fullness of wholeness, it's just an ever-present abundance. It's just like, when there are certain people, like there's, we had talked about, that dance between, there was a guy, he had a vision. I wanted to live in this mansion. I see this mansion. I heard a story. A friend of mine was telling me about this guy she knows. And he was saying how he wanted to stay in this mansion. And then all of a sudden, someone came to him like, hey, come stay in this mansion. He's not paying a dime for it or anything like that. He's staying in the place of his desire, just naturally flows to him. He said, I just got serious with myself and decided that I wasn't going to worry about anything anymore. And when I did, the doors began to open for me, where now I'm like experiencing his life and I'm not paying for anything. Like things are just being offered to me.
Yeah.
I have friends that walk into restaurants and they just know, like, watch, they're going to pay for our meal. Watch, they're going to do this. And certain things happen because they understand their energy, and they understand that when they're operating in the wholeness and when you're operating in love, things just divinely happen for you. So then you step out of the seat of manifesting,
Mm-hmm.
and you're in the wholeness of the being of who you really are. Because it's no longer desire, it's a knowing that you have, that I have, that everything in life is like a full resource of provision for me. But it is shedding layers of fear.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it comes down to, is like, I think when we are, and it's hard because I get caught up in all of it too, like one week I'll like spend more than I want, and I'm like, I went back into that fear base. But it is like, before we like make, for me, what helps is, before I make decisions, like, is this based off fear? Do I really need this? Am I bored? What can I do instead? Like, I found a lot of, like a lot of boredom drove a lot of my need to like work, or that need to like make money or travel or buy things and stuff, or even being on social media too. But when I step away from that, and I've started to like work more in my backyard and fixing up my house and stuff like that. And it's really kept me like, okay, what can I reuse, and what can I don't need to buy this. And, like, and starting to become more self-sustained, what's the word? Self-sufficient, not like totally, but baby steps. And it's just like, that kind of feeds me, and that the boredom used to, instead of buying things, that now feeds it. So, but it still comes up, and I still,
It comes up for
yeah.
me when I
Yeah.
hold ceremony and I'm not, and I have made a policy with myself that I won't turn anyone away for finances, because
Oh,
I feel that healing is something that is our divine right.